FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day and welcome to your news at noon for Thursday, March 30th, 2023. I'm Kevin Smith, and in your news today, 8 firms have submitted their expression of interest in their bid to acquire the profitable Guyana Marriott Hotel. The almost $60 million hotel started under Vice President Bara Jagdio's tenure as president using taxpayers' dollars and other funds. The hotel was opened in 2015 and is owned by the government through the National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited, or NISIL. On December 30th, 2022, NISIL issued a pre-qualification notice seeking expression of interests from persons or companies individually or as part of a joint venture with interest in purchasing its shares in Atlantic Hotel Inc., or AHI, a special purpose company owned by NISIL for the acquisition of the Guyana Marriott Hotel. After investing millions in US dollars into the Marriott Hotel and burdening taxpayers with a multi-million US dollar loan that the hotel was unable to service, the government then decided to sell the controversial hotel. Back in 2017, AHI was unable to meet its due financial obligations to repay a loan from Republic Bank Limited of Trinidad. As such, AHI had requested the assistance of NISIL, the guarantor, but the state agency was also unable to assist. In order to prevent the hotel from being acquired by the bank, the former government, in April of 2017, made the decision to transfer AHI's financial obligations to the central government. This decision has resulted in $1.1 million or 226 million Guyana dollars of taxpayers' money coming out every 6 months since 2017 to service the $27 million loan for a 13-year period. The Marriott Hotel has been deemed over the years as a monument of corruption and a colossal waste of taxpayers' money. Importantly, financial statements for the hotel have not been made public for several years. Now, 7 years after being operational and touting the investment as one of the most transformational projects, the PPP administration is now ready to sell the hotel and is moving forward with its plan to do so. In other news, the World Bank said that oil and gas companies need to rapidly accelerate the decline in global flare volumes if the world is to end routine flaring by 2030. The bank's caution comes amid a report which disclosed that global gas flaring has fallen to its lowest level since 2010. However, in Guyana, flaring continues to be a problem, with environmentalists calling on the government and ExxonMobil to do more to cut the pollution. In January this year, it was reported that offshore flaring in Guyana peaked at 71.8 million standard cubic feet. And now let's tell you the government of Guyana, intent on amending the 2016 oil deal inked with ExxonMobil, has drafted 2 new model contracts that will govern the 14 oil blocks presently in auction. Although oil companies and their affiliates will now be subjected to the country's tax laws, a daunting provision included in the new model contracts allows for these payments to be recovered through cost oil. The new model agreements for the deep and shallow water oil blocks stipulate that the recovery of these payments can be done even without the minister's approval. Annex C of the Deepwater Model Agreement at Section 3, which addresses costs that can be recovered without the approval of the minister, states all rentals, taxes, levies, charges, fees, contributions, and any other assessments and charges levied by the government in connection with the petroleum operations and paid directly by the contractor are all recoverable contract costs. And just before we head to a short break, Let's tell you that the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown on Wednesday put its citizens on a security alert while increasing its security protocols. In a statement published via its website, the U.S. Embassy said that it is urging U.S. citizens to be on high alert as it has received threats against U.S. interests. While the embassy has not specified what those threats were in the statement, it urged all citizens to stay alert and exercise heightened caution. In the past, the embassy has issued travel alerts and warned citizens about visiting specific areas and even reconsidered travel to Guyana at specific times. Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken said that he is unaware of a security issue that concerns the U.S. Embassy or any threats to American citizens in the country. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We'll return shortly after the break.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered. Digicel, better together.
Welcome back. 5 agencies attached to the Ministry of Agriculture on Wednesday signed 24 contracts totaling $1.1 billion for a number of projects, which include the construction of roads, bridges, revetment and rehabilitation of pontoons, as well as for the supply of tractors. In other news, 27-year-old Fawaz McCrae on Wednesday had his charge upgraded from attempted murder to murder for the shooting death of his cousin, 32-year-old Sergeant of Police Jermaine Semple. Semple passed away on Friday, March 17th, and on March 12th, McCrae had reportedly shot him in the head while at the Crown and Anchor Grill and Bar in Linden. And with a total of 80,000 AMI meters installed to date, the Guyana Power and Light Company plans to get all the manual meters replaced in the not-so-distant future to make its systems fully smart. This was revealed when the management of GPL made an appearance before the Public Utilities Commission on Wednesday. Divisional Director Bharat Harjan revealed that there were 94 outages for a total duration of 96 hours in 2022. He noted that those interruptions were due to a number of reasons, ranging from planned maintenance to emergencies and including but not limited to a number of trips in the system. The company was able to grow its generation capacity by 8% in 2022 and said the figures on the number of power outages are an improvement to previous years. And moving on, the Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimar Ali Haq, on Tuesday returned the case file that investigated the death of 7-month-old Oriah Gravesend and requested that the police force conduct further investigations. Baby Oriah died after falling off a bed at a daycare and suffocating. The daycare is located at Ogle on the east coast of the Demerara. Following a joint investigation conducted by the police force, the Child Care and Protection Agency and the Ministry of Human Service and Social Protection, a file was sent to the DPP for advice. We were reliably informed that the file has since been sent back for further investigation. And Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai has called on Amerindian communities to have economic plans prepared to properly utilize the funds made available to them from the country's carbon credit sales. Minister Sukai made the call during a visit to Santa Aratak on Wednesday, where she examined a number of completed projects in the village. Following a pact the government signed with Hess Corporation, Guyana will be earning $750 million between 2022 and 2032 to support the country's efforts to protect the country's vast forests. And coming from DPI, the government of Guyana is currently revising the Traffic Act to establish regulations for the use of electric bikes. The revision of the law is a result of the increase in the battery-powered bicycles, which are posing threats to road users daily. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal made the disclosure Tuesday evening. Several complaints were made to the authorities by members of the private sector and citizens, pointing out the hazards posed by these e-bikes on public roads. And on that note, we close things off by turning the pages of today's Kaieteur News to page 7, dedicated to being a little blunt. Re-inject produced water. Who? Exxon? Not Exxon. Exxon will not re-inject produced water when it can be dumped overboard. Why worry about the impacts on colored people? It pays to continue dumping produced water overboard as usual. The EPA got Exxon's back. The PPP government has got Exxon's back. Who got Guinea's backs? Certainly not the PPP, and definitely not Exxon. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts.